too. Yeah.
All right, welcome to the Cape Charles Town Council regular meeting, December 18th, 2025, Cape Charles Civic Center. Could I get a roll call, please?
Newman present.
Holloway present.
Buckholz present.
Buda present.
Grossman present.
Ashworth present.
Let it be known we've established a quorum. If we could all please rise for a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll start off with the public hearing. Looks like there's none.
Right.
Okay, close public hearing. All right, we have recognition of some visitors this evening. Short-term rental software presentation.
I'm a visitor. Wow.
How about it?
So good evening, board. I welcome you in this opportunity to show you this product we bought and started some time ago. I think roughly now 9 months ago we started this process. So first of all, I do want to introduce our newest staff member who you have not met yet. Casey Quilter is our short-term compliance officer. He's not just short-term, but focused on short-term rental compliance, I should say. So we welcome him. Behind us, of course, you know our treasurer, Marion Sofield, and her staff member. Do you want to do this one?
Yes, this is Ryan Sylvie, and if you'll join me in saying goodbye and good luck to Ryan, he'll be leaving us in January.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And of course, Jeb Brady is here as well, because all of us have been heavily involved in ensuring we are setting up the software correctly, getting it launched properly. This has been a substantial
Bless you.
effort for all three of our departments over the last few months. So we are pleased to be at this point that we are going to be launching this software. So with that said, we do have a couple of items to show you. It's going to take about 20-25 minutes all the way through. I hope you can see the screens. If you can't, please come on down so you can better see what we're going to be showing you. Okay. So the first item up is what we call the public portal, which again, when we went through this process, we heard and acknowledged that the public at large would like to be able to know how many STRs there are in this community, where are they in this community, and how can we let the town know if there are some issues with any of the STRs operating in this community. Excuse me for that.
Yep.
So this is what is called the public portal. It is a very nominal obligation and responsibility. It is just doing those very things. It is a GIS showing you everywhere where the licensed STRs are located in our community, and we're going to show you a couple other things. That's the extent of the public portal, is to do those two functions, okay? So with that said, this will be on our website. Libby and I are working exactly the placement of these pages on our website, so we'll be able to hopefully roll that out the next day or so. This is what you're going to see every time you access the public portal. And basically, so you need to just acknowledge that this information that we give you is subject to change because it is a live database.
Question, in your staff report, you indicated for the public portal, it's both licensed and unlicensed.
Well,
Go ahead.
let me finish what I'm doing. Because
All
in
right.
the public portal, it really only will be what is actually licensed. In
Right.
our management side of things, we have the GIS mapping that shows the unlicensed pieces for us to pursue for violations.
Okay.
Yes. So I would hit OK. Oops, I need to agree. And I come right in. And so I'm going to focus in and drive in a little bit deeper to the map itself first. As you start to get closer in, you're going to see the numbers start to change. They drill down to certain segments of the area. I'm going to keep on driving until I get really, really close. And when
Bless
the
you.
screen knocks, hopefully that is close enough. I'm going to hit that one. It may take a minute to populate. So when I get my hand hovering over this and I'm clicking on it, eventually there's going to be a pop-up window. Hopefully it'll get there. While that is waiting to show up, because again, it's taking a while to load everything, To the left, you're gonna see a whole bunch of information. So yes, it is showing the current number of licensed short-term rental properties. It is slightly higher. There's about 8 what I call guinea pig accounts that we created during testing that's still sitting in here. Those are gonna get wiped out as of tomorrow morning, those guinea pig accounts that we've been demoing the software on. So the number's gonna be closer to about 303, 304, somewhere like that. With that said, we list the inspector's direct number into the town. So again, if they have questions, we're asking you to call the inspector's number first during the workday. We also have a complaint portal. We're going to give you a peek in that as well. As you recall, we engaged our vendor, Decker, to also provide us a 24/7 hotline to deal especially with the off-hour calls that might reside from our community. We also have provided the email account if you wish to send an email to us. Again, that would go to our inspector at capecharles.org. We've also then provided, I'm going to go one more, did I not get close enough with my green. The police department's non-emergency number, and then we've also provided the dispatch number to the police, which again, this is a dispatch up in Eastville. So that if you have an issue that's not necessarily a 911 complaint, but you feel it does require immediate police attention, we're providing you that dispatch number so that they can then get in touch with the police officers here in town to send to whatever residents we're looking for. And lastly, we've given you a link to our website so that if you just happen to want to know how else to reach others, like if you want to just reach out to the town manager, we're providing you that link as well. So I don't know why that's not loading, but this did work like an hour ago, and Jed can attest to it, because Rumal was making this work.
He's shaking his head no.
Maybe it's too close.
It is the internet.
So what happens when you hover like this and you click on it, it pops up just a little window, and all it says is what is the physical address. So it's giving me, if this is 516 Randolph, I don't even know what street I popped on. It will tell me that. And it will also tell me the number of bedrooms for the property. That's it. Because that's all we ask it to display at this point, because we feel with the number of bedrooms, if you are familiar with our ordinance, that will lead you to the occupancy of the property. Because we felt maybe one of the most frequent complaints we might receive is overcrowding or too many people on a particular residence being used as a short-term rental. So we wanted people to at least have that number to give them some idea. If they happen to see, I don't know, 18 adults going in and out of that house that really only has 2 bedrooms, that might say, yeah, there's a real problem going on, definitely flag us on that. So I'm going to scroll on back because I can't get that window to pop up right now, and Libby is being so kind to say it's the slowness of our internet here. I'll take that excuse. But again, as I come back out, you really can see by block, by entire street. I can go Bay Creek or anywhere in town. Here's Bay Creek to the north to give you an idea of our rentals over there. Here is the town proper itself. Here's the harbor area, though we do have one over here as well. Here is Bay Creek South, all the way through. So again, you can drill down as deep as you like. You can also, up here on the right-hand side, it is defaulting to the map. When you open this, it will show the map to the public at large. You can click on list. And it will pull up the entire list as well. Again, as I said, it gives us the address with it. It will pop up a license number. This will change as we actually start to get the 2026 licenses in. This is 2025, and this is a license structure that came out of the county's FMS or financial system, where we were maintaining all the licensing of STRs until this point. Moving forward, all STRs will run through this portal that we have established here. And the number of bedrooms will start to populate as the 2026 licenses start to get renewed, applied for, etc. This will start to populate as those applications and renewals come in, okay? So you can toggle between the list or the map, however you wish to view this. So we wanted to make you aware of that. I'm going to just pause for a moment to let you see the complaint portal as well. This link here. Maybe it won't load here. It is a very simple form that we devised for the public at large. So this is meant for any STR complaints to come through this portal, not through the report of concern that's in the town website that is currently out there. We recognize we're probably gonna have some overlap between the two, that's okay. This is gonna take education to make people aware that this is how we'd like any STR issues to come in. And this is really meant to come not from the STR owner, but this is meant for the rest of the public in this community that is observing, living next to, part of a neighborhood of STRs, and they might have observed something from one of their neighbors who runs an STR that they want to report to us to say maybe they don't think it's in compliance with the ordinance, or they've seen some issues and they want us to look into it further. So we outlined what we felt were the primary issues that we felt might come in, noise being one of them, trash, parking, illegal rental, and number of guests. Of course, those are just buckets I put together. There could be other, which is why we left a blank category of other. Again, we're asking them to tell us which property are they reporting this on. We need to know where we're talking about. You can't just say somewhere on Randolph. We actually need some specificity here.
And these are all coming in anonymously?
Well, so let me keep walking through, so hang on one second. Is this the first time you are complaining about this property? Because sometimes people will file multiple complaints with us within 4 to 6 hours. So we would like them to give us a little bit of time to do some investigation. We'll acknowledge the receipt of the complaint, but we do need a little bit more time, so that's why we're asking that question if this is their first complaint about the property, so we can do some investigation of former complaints. We're asking for a description of that complaint. Again, their contact information so that we are able to reach back out to them. They do not have to provide that. It is optional. But we would like them to provide it so that we can respond to them with the follow-up as to what happened, as to how things got resolved for them.
Can you make that mandatory? Because I feel like if you don't do that, you're gonna be chasing ghosts.
Not only chasing ghosts, all they have to do is keep clicking, yes,
Yes.
it's my first time. Yes, it's my first time. Yes, it's my first time.
Just a
I think so too.
idea.
Yeah.
But can you also have it so that when it says, is this your first complaint, can it say, is this your first complaint through the portal? Right? I mean, I wonder if people
probably
are
can't-
going
I can't change that feature. I can be honest, there's gonna be a limitation as to how much I can alter this form, because this is a form used by their company on all of their clients. So I just wanna make you aware of that. So I might be able to move the optional to be a mandatory of the contact information, but I don't think I can edit that component that you just said.
And then one more thing on that as far as
About the first
making it
complaint.
mandatory.
You can't just have it, I'm so
No, go
sorry.
ahead.
You can't just have that sentence change? Is this your first complaint using this portal?
That's correct, because again, that would change it system-wide to all of their customers that Deckard has across the world. And
I
so-
think it's a great idea for the whole world to do.
They just didn't know it until now.
You had a
If
question?
that's something you
Yeah,
would
I-
like, and as the board, if you want that to be a mandatory requirement of contact information being provided, I'm also happy to see if they will insert a note, because in Virginia, if you make a complaint, that is not a publicly released component of an.
Right.
The complainant's name is not a publicly released document under FOIA.
I think that's
Right,
fair.
and I think another thing that, with that information going in, is if they can have double authentication on it as well, so they're not putting in fictitious information. So they put their phone number there or their email, it gives them that kickback, and they gotta put in that 6-digit code to make sure it's real. I mean, I'm just saying, because it happens all the time, and I see it every day. So,
What's the
You know,
6-digit code?
like you just put Mickey Mouse, 111-111-111.
I got you.
Well, that's a name and it gets through, but if you do double authentication, they have to call that number back, and the only way this complaint's going in is if they put that 6-digit number in. Or whatever, it doesn't have to be 6 digits, it can be whatever, but it just authenticates their information.
We give them the ability to provide us attachments. If they have any documentation they would like to provide, a picture would be useful, or a video that they have, so they have the ability to upload. And again, if they happen to know the property owner's name, or the name of the short-term rental, or any other identifying information they want to provide to us, we give them that ability to add that in here as well. And again, then they are agreeing to our terms and conditions to submit this, and that's the online reporting component of this. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail beyond this tonight about the complaint aspect and what it means on the back end of things. We're going to do that at a later meeting. This really is about the launch to our customers who are looking to get licensed or renew in this upcoming season. We really want to focus on that. Any other questions on the public-facing portal at this point?
I have a question. What are the terms and conditions? I mean, just generally, that it what is
Right there.
public information?
There's a click in the second word.
Okay, can you read that real quick for me? Just generally speaking,
Just the highlighted areas, the bold.
Like, what's the
I mean, I'm
category?
just curious, is it saying that this is not private? Okay,
Oh, this is,
Oh, so this is just a canned,
this is,
okay.
Yeah.
But it's not related to our town's terms and conditions?
No, this is
Okay,
all, again,
that's what I thought it was.
This is all a hosted platform that we are licensing from Decker Technologies.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So that kind of walks you through all that stuff, the unavoidable legal stuff, all that jargon, et cetera, those are the basic terms and
Okay.
conditions, okay? Okay, so with that said, I'm actually going to now turn this over to Casey, who's gonna run us through. And we're gonna flip between what is the actual website itself, the portal itself, and his actual, PowerPoint presentation, which might be easier to follow, because we've gone through each page and done it with a screenshot, filling in the information, so it makes it a little more relatable to everyone.
And it goes a little bit faster.
So this actually will be the welcome screen. It is a link that will be out again on our webpage, and Casey's going to read what the welcome screen is, but I'm going to actually open up his PowerPoint, so it makes it easier for
Did you
him.
want me to take a look at the dashboard first, or you want me to do the dashboard after?
After.
After, okay. All right,
I'm just going to move you back. How's that?
so that works great for me.
Oops,
All right,
you hit something.
thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I am going to try to keep this first part a little bit brief. Kitty has asked me to share with you all the short-term rental portal. First of all, I want to show you all the existing user registration aspect of this. So anybody who comes to the capecharles.org website and is looking to do a short-term rental will come to the main site. This is not currently live, but it's just an example of where it'll ask them what it typically, it'll tell them typically what it tells them about short-term rentals, and then it'll direct them to the customer portal. What do we do here? We need to go to view. Sorry, we need to go to slideshow. All right. So, STR renewals. That's really the biggest population of folks that we have here. People who are already existing STR, who already have STR certificates. So the first thing that they're going to do when they come to the main screen here is it's welcoming them to the town of Cape Charles, and it's talking about short-term rentals in Cape Charles and how we manage things here. It's also telling them that they have to either create an account if they are a new user, they've never had one before, but if they're an existing one, that they can go ahead and log in. So we've already populated the back-end database of this whole site with all the existing user information that we have. So every STR person that is here in Cape Charles that we have information on, their name, their addresses, their phone numbers, their email addresses already put into the system. So their email address is really what the whole system works off of. In this particular case, we used Marion as our guinea pig here. So we took Marion's name, we put it in, and then we're going to log in as Marion. Here's the two-step authentication that you were talking about before. It's going to ask Marion, okay, we sent a verification code to your email address. Can you please verify this is who you are? So Marion gets a notification on her computer or her cell phone, and she goes in and she's going to type that information in right here. So the next thing is she's going to get, here's the two-step verification, here's the code that it gave her, and then it's going to bring her to her dashboard. Okay? Remember, she's an existing user, or she's had an STR in the past. So her dashboard is going to show her that here is her address. She's got one certificate currently, and this is made up. She's not really 101 William Scott Lane, but this is just an example, okay? So it would show her certificate here. If for some reason she owned more than one STR in town, it would show multiple certificates underneath of that, okay? And then she could renew her certificate, or if she wanted to add another one underneath because she just bought another property, she could do that. Or she could pay her taxes online, her TOT. She could see all of the above. All right,
Can I
but
ask a question real quick?
sure.
So that's fine if they own other ones, but if so the owners are going into the database, what if it's being managed by like a Chesapeake Properties and all that? If she goes in under her email, whatever she uses, will it show every property she's managing?
We're gonna answer that one slightly later in this presentation.
That's fine.
I've
Go
not
ahead.
forgotten.
Okay.
All right, so the first thing that it's gonna ask Marion to do is to update her details. So here it is, all of her information is being pre-populated in these fields here, and then it's gonna ask her to update those details. She's gonna update those details and it's gonna bring her back to her dashboard again. And because she is an existing STR in 2025, now of course, we don't have the 2025 TOT information in the system currently, it's all paper, but in the future, she will go to pay tax, and that's how she will manage her occupancy taxes in the future. So, it'll give her these selections here where she can report her revenue, she can confirm and sign, and she can do her payment all for this particular property.
And we're gonna go into that in more detail with Marion and Ryan, but we're gonna keep on going through the process.
Perfect.
So, it's gonna show her all of these,
So we're doing this first, I'm sorry.
what's okay?
So we should move that to Marion then.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
You
this,
guys-
this is
Well,
basically just the same form that's currently used, but it uses population.
Yes, yeah.
Yep, so. But if you wanna.
Somebody said they couldn't hear.
It's the
That's why I
same
was
form
just
that
checking.
it currently is, but for the gross revenue, for example, you have to put in numbers on here for the gross revenue for the taxable receipts. You can do that by Airbnb and you can do that by VRBO. And then you have all other platforms, which if you've been filling out your TOT and you've been reporting, all those other platforms or anything else, if you're taking in money yourself or any other rental.com. So the next thing it's going to do is it's going to give you your tax summary. And then if you want to, you can expand that so that it's going to show you a breakdown of what you put in for your Airbnb, what you put in for your VRBO, what you put in for the other platforms, and then depending on the timeliness of your submission, if there were any penalties or if there was any interest that was charged, and then, of course, your grand total. Okay? And then it's just going to ask you to go ahead and pay your TOT. All right, so you're going to click on Pay. You notice on the right-hand side where it's taken you through the different steps. You're now at Payment. And it's going to bring up a pop-up window. When you expand that pop-up window, it'll give you the payment portal where you're going to enter in all of your payment information. After you've...
So I'm gonna stop us there.
Sure.
Brian, do you want to add anything to the TOT reporting? Because this is I think a good advancement for the town. That you can now do this online, report it to us online. It will be for all future transactions, starting as of January on. And you're gonna see, not that we jumped ahead because we've asked your permission during the acquisition of the software, if we could move to quarterly reporting for the TOT. You're going to be voting on that to make it formal in your town code policy tonight. But we did design the software that we are moving to quarterly reporting. So if you want to talk a little bit about that really quick, process-wise.
Yeah, it's so the top form is the same exact form. You're reporting all the revenue. It's giving you a breakdown of everything.
You're gonna give it a breakdown per month?
No, per quarter.
Per quarter.
Change the
January,
code.
February, March is your first quarter.
The gross receipts, what you're earning through Airbnb, what you're earning through VRBO, what you're earning on your own website or any other platform that you may be using, it breaks it down for you.
Yeah, that's gonna change the reporting and how we've been doing it for the last decade, because then we get a monthly breakdown to where the busy months are, so we can actually make decisions based on the flex, you know, the ebbs and flows of it, so that's gonna be interesting to figure out.
So with the county, we have to list, currently, we list each month's revenue.
That's the
It's just the
county.
total
We won't see
on there, but that, we haven't seen the worksheet, like what the,
So go back in your PowerPoint, Casey. Sure. Go back like 3 slides, I believe.
oh, that's hard to read.
Gross
Yeah,
revenue.
it's just gross revenue. That was it.
Too far.
Yeah, you were on it.
There we go. Is that the right one?
No.
No, one more.
One more back, sorry.
There you go.
It's a gross revenue.
So when we say this, you're gonna see at the top, so take a minute, Ryan, walk them through each element that you as the STR owner would be filling in on this form.
Right, so at the very top is the reporting period. In this case, it is July to September. Then the number of days available, so the number of days in that reporting period, the number of days occupied, so the number of days that you actually have the property being rented. Then it gives you 3 different categories really of what platform you're using in order to generate that revenue for those occupied days. Airbnb and Vrbo remit taxes on your behalf, so that's why those 2 are broken out specifically. The bottom category, all other platforms, is where you come in to remit your own payment. So if you have your own website or anything like that, that does not have a remitting feature for you, that is what you pay at the very end once you submit this transient occupancy tax form.
So the way this is done, we wouldn't be able to tell what months. It would just be a bucket of 30.
Yeah.
And are we thinking that it makes more sense for us to
Bucket
be
of
able to
90, not
see
30.
things monthly?
I think it's just adjusting, that we're used to being able to manage it monthly and to see where we're at with that. I think it's just going to be a matter of, as soon as we start to get trends, we'll be able to see it. I mean,
Along those lines, the way I see it is when we get to mid-year budget,
yeah.
we'll have the
we'll
6
still have to-
months. And
exactly.
really then make decisions based on that. not
Right. And that's the only time we
individual
really,
months.
that we really use it, where it's not like we're gonna auto-correct. I wanna go back up, so it's the, total days available, that's easy. But they need to figure out how many days they were occupied, right?
Yes, because in the current top form, there is a $4 per night.
Yeah, I know that part, the nightly fee, right?
That's essentially.
That's what that is,
Yes,
okay.
now that is multiplied by 4 in the next screen that gives
Okay.
you the additional $4 per night.
That might be a little confusing to people.
Yeah, but does it break it down into the different platforms? Because that's still paid through Airbnb and Vrbo, the $4 tax as well.
That's correct.
Well, how can you do it if it's just up top? How many nights do you know that you're
Yeah.
in Airbnb, and how many nights do you know that you're in Vrbo?
So that's why they're telling us how much revenue is being paid through VRBO, how much is coming in from Airbnb, because those are third-party, sorry, let me jump in so they can hear me at the microphone. So Airbnb and VRBO have, through state legislation, have received what's called third-party intermediary status. So they have the right to enter into those agreements with the STR owners to remit to the locality on their behalf.
Right.
We do not have that agreement with others. I just want to make you aware of that. That's why we've separated these out. Part of it is there are still challenges in the Airbnb and VRBO reporting that we have. And I know Marion and Ryan can speak to those challenges. They provide us no breakdown. It is a flat check we're getting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's for 5 property owners or 50 property owners that we're getting a check for the month for, and exactly what that entitles. This is
It's awful. It's awful.
first step forward to try and figure out, okay, who is using which agency? We don't even know that today. So this will help us now distinguish, I'm gonna pick on Mr. Buddha, because I know he's in this bucket. I don't know if he's using any of these, but now I'll be able to say, Ken is telling us he is using Airbnb, but not Vrbo for third-party intermediary services. And only that, he's not doing it personally, he's not using any other service, that's the only one he's got an agreement with. So I'll be able to start to match up him, plus the other 25 or 70 people who told me they've got money coming in through Airbnb. And, or some of them have money coming in from VRBO. So we'll start to be able to generate reports between, okay, VRBO revenue versus Airbnb versus everybody else, and then really start to match up the checks we're getting from Airbnb and VRBO and what is coming into us through this website.
Okay, but it still goes
But-
back, I want to
yeah.
go back to my question before we
Yes.
go on.
Yes.
Because you're putting the days up there, right? And Ryan, from what you just said, that's going to be times 4.
Yes.
Whatever that number is, okay.
Yes.
So when I put my numbers here, there's no thing in here for number of nights for Airbnb and Vrbo.
You don't have,
You're correct, but again, so this drives us back to saying, we may need some additional documentation once you do this reporting, and we're gonna go back to you as the property owner going, we need your report from Airbnb, we need your report from VRBO to justify. And part of what we have access to, on our back end, which we haven't shown you yet, is we're gonna be able to go check, okay, we can go look at your property, we can see how many nights you actually have rented, and who are you renting it through?
Well, then
Okay.
why ask us? Why not just populate it?
They have to attest to it.
They have to attest to it. So this is part of your obligation as the property owner. You need to be truthful into how much revenue's coming in. And if we need to back it up with further documentation from Airbnb and VRBO, then that's what we'll be seeking.
So
Yes.
I still don't understand
I don't either.
the first, like the 90 days there. That's auto-populated because that's just
It's
The
not.
calendar.
so every time
You
I've got to
actually have
count
fill
the
it in.
number of days in the month.
Yes, that's why I was
Why would
asking.
it not auto-populate? You're doing quarterly, each quarter's the same.
No.
Unless it's a leap.
Or,
No,
or
I'm
it's
saying
close
the
enough that a
same-
calendar can
28
figure
days.
that out.
That's what I'm
February.
saying. So if it's January, February, March, they take the 3 months, add them up, that number goes in there, auto-populate.
But
Except
let's,
for you're gonna have an extra day in February.
Which
the
is
calendar
fine.
can do that.
I'm just saying those things.
So now
We
under,
can ask that question to the programmer to see.
Yeah, that's
if
an
Right,
easy
but-
algorithm.
auto-population.
that's not the whole thing.
Okay.
So I rent my house for 25 days, or 30 days, and all of it is through Airbnb and Vrbo.
Yeah.
No, nothing else. So when it goes through all these payments, my payment due should be 0, not 30 times.
You will need
4.
to, so part of this is, in everywhere it says, gross revenue, you need to give me a number.
Yeah, we do that
That number
now.
could be 0 or 15,000, whatever that number is, you guys are telling me.
Totally
That's what we're
understand.
doing now.
That's
We currently
correct.
do that.
That's correct.
But the 30 that I said people were occupied, and then we account for all of that in the other boxes, does that 30 get multiplied by 4, and now I have a payment of $120 due?
that's just to check, is to verify what's coming in from VVRO or Airbnb. It's a verification, so you have.
But we were just told
No, 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 no.
that
That's
that
not what
number
she
was
said.
times 4.
That is correct.
Hang on, let me finish, let me finish. I know you're all
Yes,
excited for this.
and don't
software.
everybody
Give me a
stop
minute,
yelling.
okay?
No yelling.
So with that said,
Yeah.
so we're asking you now to tell us, okay, if your gross revenue, how much of your bookings happen through Airbnb? So of your 30 days, of the 90 available in that quarter, you did 30 days rental, right? That's it. So 10 of them you got from Airbnb. And we wanna know
Is
what
that up there
revenue
though?
was.
I'm missing that.
don't
That
see
was
that,
my
yeah.
question. I don't see how you take the 30 days and put your 10 at Airbnb, 10 at
Hang on.
VRB. Is that on here?
Let me
Okay.
finish. So again, we're asking you, so if you're getting 10 of your 30 days booked through Airbnb, we're not asking you to tell me 10 days, I'm asking you to tell me, what's the gross revenue that you received by using Airbnb as your agent?
Right.
That's what we're asking. How much did you get that room rented or that house rented for those 10 nights through Airbnb? That's what I want you to report to us.
So I guess where my challenge is then understanding that $4 charge.
Okay, so can I finish?
Yes.
So then I want you to give me the next one down, which is VRBO. So again, we know you did 30 days, 10 to Airbnb. They did your booking for you. VRBO did the next 10 for you. And so I want to know how much they gave you gross revenue, told you was the gross revenue for that rental, report that here. And then the last one is that final 10, you rented it to a friend you knew. And now we want you to tell me, our calculation on that third bucket does include that $4 calculation, because at that point, that's the only bucket we're asking you to actually pay the town immediately. We're then going to be proofing those other two buckets ahead, those other two sections ahead, back to the actual payments we've received from VRBO and Airbnb, and we're going to start trying to align what you're telling us to the payments we're getting from those other two third-party intermediaries. They should be. This is the big issue. They have our ordinance. They should be collecting not only the percentage, but the per night fee of $4. We don't know if they are today.
That's, again, why I'm confused is on the second portion of this form, you're not asking anyone who's filling it out to break out the per day. So how,
I actually don't need that, because right now I'm just trying to figure out how much is coming of your account from VRBO and Airbnb. I don't even know that today, Tara,
I understand.
anywhere.
Okay, so does the $4 per night calculation come and get charged to you in this program?
It is if you are reporting in that third bucket.
So, but in that, that's what I'm getting at, is in that third bucket, nowhere do you put the number of days.
You're
So-
correct. 'Cause
So then
again,
how,
I'm asking you to tell me this process by at least telling me what is the gross revenue?
so how are you getting the $4 per night if you're never asking how many days you're multiplying that by?
Even if I have it, I have no way of collecting it right now from VRBO or Airbnb.
She understands that. She's
Thank
asking.
you. I've got that
Keep saying
part.
the same thing over and over again. Unless we know how many nights there are, you can't tell how many fours there are.
Correct. That's
the-
what I'm getting at.
for the
It's-
third bucket.
For the third bucket in particular, you're just telling me, or the person filling it out, to put in their gross revenue, correct? So hold on, let's not talk about Airbnb and VRBO. Say I rent all of my, no, 5 at Airbnb, 5 at VRBO, the other 20 are myself. But all you're asking me for is my gross revenue. Where are you pulling out how many nights and how you multiply that by 4? That's my question.
So let me ask Ken or Adam, on your VRBO statement that you get every month, do they break it down and actually show that they charge you $4?
Yes, we have to actually fill that out. When we set up the taxes with Verbo and Airbnb, you have to put how much percentage goes to each municipality as well as the top $4 tax.
As well as the $4?
Yes,
So that-
and it breaks it down on my sheets,
Something we have to
but when they go to book,
address.
they only see one big lump sum of tax.
Yeah, so that might be something we have to address then, because I didn't realize that they were actually remitting the $4 fee as well.
Yeah, because the way this is right now, it's just calculating the $4 fee for the 30 days.
Yeah,
But
you
you're-
can't see it,
Again,
right.
it goes back to, we have no paperwork.
We can't get any
to prove
paperwork
anything
from
Verbo.
either one of those intermediaries of the breakdown.
Understood. But what this would end up doing, the way it's set up right now, at least as I'm seeing it, is it would be double charging for the Airbnb and the VRBOs, the $4 that has already been paid by Airbnb and
So we
VRBO,
have to
correct?
put number of nights that you rented, and then maybe number of nights that was rented outside of Airbnb.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yes, thank you.
I would do it I would have the number for each one of those.
Yes, yeah,
Each one.
yes.
Because that's how I do it now.
Yeah.
When I break it down, it's how many nights per each one.
Okay, let me see what we can do about that.
Which would help you guys, especially the accounting side, match it up a lot easier.
So I guess I am gonna ask this
Yeah.
question now, because we have frequently heard when we have asked property owners to provide us, backup from Airbnb or VRBO, we're being told, they can't give us the detail. They don't get such a report, but clearly you guys do get such a report.
I don't get a report, I have to set it up at the beginning. When you first put a property online, you get to the end and it says, are we paying your taxes? Yes. Okay, you need to tell me what we're paying. Or is this right? Because the first year I did it, I went in and did it, and then they had done it again.
Yeah, double
For my
pays.
first year, every person that was in that house was paying double taxes.
Yep.
So you were getting a double check the first year for those.
Sweet.
But, you know,
So Adam, question, there's no way to run a report in Airbnb or
I've never
VRBO?
Yeah.
I've never tried, I don't know. just being totally honest with you. I mean, I can try to run a report and let you know.
Like, Tammy, do you know
So,
every month
going
how
back
many
to
are coming
Deb.
from VRBO and Airbnb? Oh, okay, so it is information you
Well,
can
I
see.
don't, I'm not a
Or
good
you
example.
guys.
They're a
Oh,
better
yeah.
So
example.
now going back
My
to,
software breaks everything.
so now going back to Jeb, because if there is no report, then you did set it up, but there's no verification anybody else
everybody else
set it up. So that's
Right.
that's what they're trying to figure
Heck,
out.
we don't even know if they're remitting the $4.
Right.
Tell them that they should be remitting, but we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Well, if they put it in there and you set it up with that $4 room tax and whatever our tot tax is, and whatever goes to the county, whatever comes here, whatever goes to the state, you know, that's all gonna be in there. And if you put it in, but now we're relying on the people that are doing this as a, you know, for their houses to make sure they've set it up right. There's no checks and balances on
Well, there
that.
is checks and balances. You could go
Not on our
onto their,
end.
yes, there is. You can go onto their website and book a room. And if taxes don't come up, then there's no taxes being charged. I mean, it's very easy to check.
Yeah, but that's.
And this is gonna be
that's-
great for me and anybody
that's a
else that
whole-
has their own software that's managing stuff, because all you gotta do is a zap to this.
Yeah, but
Do
that's a
your
whole-
things,
that's
and
a
the report's
whole
gonna
lot
get
of-
done automatically on a quarterly
It's
basis.
a whole lot more work for the accounting department or anybody to go back and do verifications for all that.
I understand the point that you're making now, so I will throw this back to the developer and see if that can get added in here. Okay?
The other solution would be to just say, don't have VRBO and Airbnb submit the $4 tax and make everything go through here, right? That would be the alternative.
That's a,
Not that it's a better alternative, but it is an alternative available,
is.
right?
Well,
That then you would know you're receiving the
The-
$4 per
Tara,
night that way.
don't know,
Right?
I know, but Tara, that's gonna be because it's a pass-through tax that these guys, or anybody that's renting, that's a pass-through tax, you're collecting.
Right,
Everybody-
right. You
So
wouldn't
if
be
it's not,
collecting it.
on the VBRO or, the Airbnb, then that's coming out of your pocket.
Pocket, got it, you're not
So that,
collecting
you
it.
can't, that, you
Okay.
can't do it that way,
Got it.
unfortunately.
Okay, no, I appreciate the feedback, because this is good stuff, because we struggle, I've asked repeatedly to multiple STR owners, can you get me a report from VRBO so I can see monthly what they tell you? So far, the answer's been, no, I can't get such a report. Which,
Without the breakdown, my question is, okay, so let's say you come up with an inconsistency on a gross level. How are you going to then find out which particular accounts?
okay, we're gonna come to that,
All right?
okay?
Can I just make one comment? And it's a sidebar, but it's timely. At VML, since I won't be on council, Paul won't be on council next year to go, the Airbnb is at that conference. We should be starting to go through VML to require them to separate out those payments. Other states are doing it and have won.
It's actually
So
our
we
Department
really-
of State law, they're supposed
I
to give
know.
us a detailed report.
Yes.
They have never done so.
Well,
And
that-
we're not the only locality, it's all of Virginia not receiving detailed.
Right, but what I'm saying, this is when we need to count on VML to work. Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay. So, we're actually now gonna go back on track and move to actually getting a renewal.
Well, so,
Go ahead.
there's lots of different directions to go, right? So, actually, I was just thinking that since we've gotten to the point, right, where we've had our existing users, they've come on the site, and they have verified their information.
They haven't seen it yet, so let's walk them through what that is. What are they verifying? What are the various screens that they're gonna have to edit or fill in as a new registrant? Go ahead, Casey, sorry.
I'm just trying to get it going.
So if you get a report, there's gonna be a lot of people pissed off right now.
I can't imagine that they don't do a report.
No, it's not showing.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I get that.
So when you have the existing user registration, right, so you go into the portal and you're gonna verify all of your information that has been pre-populated, you're gonna see the properties that you own or that you're operating. And then at that point too, you can also do a variety of things, which is including paying your TOT taxes. So the other aspect that we were going to show you would be, what does it look like if you are new and you're just starting in the town of Cape Charles, and you are trying to register or apply for your very first SDR, you're trying to get into the system. So while we're trying to get to that point too, understand that the internal part of all of this is that if you are an existing owner and you did all your TOT information, the next thing is that that's coming to the finance department. And then the finance department is looking through all of that in order to verify that. This used to be multiple steps, paperwork, passing, etc. But now, because it's all on one platform, after we do an internal review in finance, then basically finance is going to click a button. It's going to kick it to Jeb and I for review for an STR inspection. And after we've done our STR inspection, then that's going to get kicked to the next phase too, after they have finished, in order to go to through zoning. At which point then, during this time, the owner of the account is receiving emails, or we're calling to say, hey, we want to schedule your inspection. And then at the very end, basically what they're going to get is an email saying, congratulations, you know, you've gone through all of the steps, you've paid what you need to do, which is paying one time, and then you're going to get your email is going to have your certificate on there, which is going to be your occupancy certificate that you can post at your STR.
Sorry.
What's the approximate, if everything was smooth, what's the approximate time frame? What's the window, if it all goes smoothly, roughly?
I don't want to give you that answer.
I know it's gonna be a broad thing, it could be a couple weeks, a couple months.
So the biggest part for when we roll this system out will be, once they get in and apply for a new short-term rental certificate, and they pay their fees, which we'll get to, then it will go to Ryan or Marion, whoever, and they will need to call them to true up last year's numbers, because we weren't able to put last year's numbers in, we weren't able to populate them. Moving forward, we will, because they're gonna put that in, right? So Ryan will have to call them to true up last year's numbers. Say they said they were gonna do 20,000 and did 30,000, well then they're gonna have to pay the difference. Or if they said 30,000 back to 20,000, we'll have to give them a credit.
For the for
B.
BPOL.
Gotcha.
That's BPOL, right?
That's people, correct. Yeah.
So this will be the last paper year. And Ryan or whoever will be calling that customer and saying, let's true up now. And then we will take checks for that. But then after that, it's all online payments.
Nice.
We will not move it forward until they have trued up.
For short-term rentals, not for B&Bs.
This is our mechanism to say, you're not moving forward with
Darn
the
the luck.
inspections until you have got your stuff online and you have trued up with the treasurer's office from the prior year.
Man, you guys are getting in the DMV area.
Yes, you can get reports.
All right, so if you are a new registrant, then you'll go through the website, you'll click on the portal, and it'll bring you to this page, okay? And again, you're going to verify with your email. You're going to click on that you're a new registrant, and you're going to put in your email, and then it's going to go through the process of verifying, sorry, let me go back one. You're going to get a two-step verification to verify that it's you, and then after that, it's going to ask you to start inputting your personal details, okay? And again, my personal details would be my name, my last name, what I'm called, what the name of my company or my business is, what my phone number is, and what my mailing address is. Not of my STR, but of my business. You notice on the screen here that it says that I am creating my account. So I'm doing this for the first time. So then after I've created initially my account, it's going to show me a dashboard, right? I don't currently have an STR that's in the system, but it's going to let me apply for a new STR certificate. So I'm going to start the application process. So it's going to give me the purpose and intent of the zoning ordinance. It's going to give me some background again. And it's also going to tell me some important things that I'm going to need in order to do this process. Specifically, it's going to tell me that it's going to take my information, right, but it's not going to save my progress. So if I opt out at any time, the electricity goes off or whatever, I'm going to have to start over again. Okay? So it's going to tell me that. And it's gonna tell me too what information I'm going to need. I'm gonna need my property owner information. If I have a property manager, I'm gonna need their information as well. If I'm a property manager and I'm doing it from this perspective, they'll be able to enter in my information for me, right? It'll give me the 24/7 local contact, which is supposed to be on the certificate. The number of bedrooms, what I perceive is gonna be my maximum occupancy, gross revenue, etc. So it's trying to set me up for success as I'm moving forward. And it's letting me know what are the steps that we're going to be taking as we're getting to payment. Remember, this is the first step in the overall process, just establishing who I am, where my STR is going to be located, etc.
And before you go any further, that opening screen is really important for them to read through, because part of this is there's no saving along the way. You've got to fill it out all the way to completion. So again, we're not asking you to go to measure your bedroom. We did all that this year, and that's what we put into our database. That's how we've confirmed the bedrooms, we verified occupancy for all of the existing STRs. So this will be the similar screens you're going to see for the renewal, same thing. You're verifying that information, but yeah, you're going to need all that. You're going to need to know the email address for who your 24/7 is. You can't stop and say, I'll go back and finish this a day later.
That's in
That
bold,
is the
that's in
one
bold
caveat.
somewhere?
Say that again?
That's in bold somewhere? I can't read from here, so
It says, please ensure you have gathered the information listed below. You start your application process. You will not be able to save your progress if you are missing any information, and you will have to restart the registration process once you have all the information in hand. You will also need to have a form of credit card payment available, because you will be required to pay the calculated business license tax as part of this registration process. And that's going to happen when essentially you are doing your business license, your STR, all in one, and you're telling what you perceive are going to be your gross revenue in the upcoming year.
Casey, it could be an e-check as well, even though it says just credit card. If you have your routing number, account number, you can take that form of payment as well.
And so we did do a guinea pig set of testing on this as well. So we pulled in some of our key users, and we've been through this with them as well. We've definitely stressed that point with them. It's going to be in all of our documentation moving out. We are going to be having a mass email going out once this is launched to all of our existing customers. We will highlight these issues in that email as well. It will be on our website, be in the training documents, etc. Yes.
will you do a Zoom call or some kind of training like that to go through as a kickoff? Like, I think that's effective. People just don't read.
Sure. We absolutely can set one up. It won't happen between now and
Sure.
31st.
No, I understand, but like in January, just to make it available, so if someone, you can emphasize some of those points and they can be prepared.
Yes.
And the good thing about it is it can be recorded so they can.
Right, they could watch it anytime,
Yeah.
just like you did
As I
your
said,
others.
We're gonna have a training video on our website. We'll have
Yeah.
each element of this broken down, so if you only want to watch this piece of it, you can
Right.
do that.
Nice.
Kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yes.
If you have all your documentation about how long does it take?
As fast as you can type.
No,
No.
20 minutes?
less than that.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. Go for it.
Sure.
So after that, it's going to say we need to know the tax map number of the property you wish to make available for the STR certificate, but you can use the tax map number or you can type in your own property address.
Good.
So in this particular case, I put in a tax map number. One of the things that we had to do in the testing environment too, so that we're not messing up the database, is we had to give us some tax map properties that we could use in order to put in each time as we were testing the environment. So this is basically what comes up here. It's going to come up as the address. It's going to show that I've gone through identifying the property. And then it's going to say, are you the owner of the rental property? Yes, I am the owner, or no, I am a property manager. I'm going to continue here with yes, I am the owner. And then it's going to ask me, are you using a property manager for this property? No, I'm self-managing it. Are you a 24/7 local contact? Is a person available who 24/7 who can be at the property within 1 hour? Who is the 24/7 local contact for this property? All right, in this case, I put someone else. Maybe I'm going to pay somebody. I put my dad's information in there. All right, so whoever you want to put in there as your contact, sorry, I lost my place there. Gotcha. All right, so, as you continue down the bottom through the rest of the fields, you're gonna notice the amount of details that there is here. It says how many bedrooms are in the short-term rental property. It's specifying a bedroom definition in the Cape Charles zoning ordinance. Bedroom is a room or space within a structure intended for sleeping. Requirements include, it's gonna give you the minimum size of the bedroom. It's gonna talk to you about the access and egress. Every bedroom must have access to natural ventilation and have a permanent heat source. Okay, it's gonna say 2 means of egress, one that leads to the rest of the home, et cetera, et cetera. It's even gonna give you the ceiling height requirement. So it's telling you what's in the ordinance, right? And then you're gonna say how many bedrooms you have. Just, I put 3. What is the maximum occupancy? I'm gonna say my max occupancy is 2. That's what I'm thinking that it's going to be. Is the property providing any parking spaces on the property directly? Then all of this stuff is going to be verified as well. How many on-site parking spaces are available at your short-term rental property? Does your property have a curb cut? In this case, I said no. Does the property have an existing driveway? I said no. Does the property abut the alley? Okay, I have an alley behind me. Is there parking in the rear of the property? Yes, I have some. Then it's going to go through and it's going to ask me about trash cans. But more importantly, it's also going to tell me, that if I told it that I have a 3-bedroom house, that I need 2 trash cans. So I'm going to put 2 trash cans, all right? And then it's going to ask me for the gross receipts estimate. All right, since you are a new business, we require an estimate to calculate your business license fee. Please provide your estimated gross receipts for the calendar year. When reporting gross receipts, use numbers only, do not include any symbols. So that's another part of this aspect too. You'll notice that I put in 15,000. It didn't work. I had to take my comma out. You can't put in a $sign either, but it tells you that. Oh, why didn't it work? Right? There is a non-refundable business license tax due in the amount of $30 regardless of the estimate of annual gross receipts. All right, so that's going to bring you to the next step. After you've provided your property details, it's going to give you a document upload. Now, some of these documents may or may not apply to you. It says your application requires the below documents to be uploaded. It gives you some size requirements. But at first it says an attestation of the owner's permission for the use of the property as a short-term rental. Now, if I am the owner of the rental and when we go to check that against the deed of the property, then that's not a problem. But if, for example, my parents own it and I'm renting it out as an STR, then I'm going to need to upload an affidavit here. I may not have to do a proof of authorization to operate the short-term rental by the homeowners or condo association. Yes, sir.
So just before we go too far, can you go back the 1 page?
Sure.
And this is for a new person coming in, right, that has no STRs or anything else. I think on the first form that's out there, and I can't, I mean, maybe it's up there, I just can't see it, to where it had that minimum that you have to put in. If you don't have receipts from the previous year, our form right now says if you have no other receipts, you still need to pay a minimum of gross receipts. I believe is on the form. You have to pay something is what I'm saying for your first, for your estimate.
Yeah.
Is that, but what number corresponds to the $30 is what I'm saying.
$8,333.
Okay, that's what, that should be up
And
there.
72 cents?
Actually, it automatically calculates
automatically calculates.
in the system.
Okay.
So if you tell us it is $7,000, it's gonna calculate the $30 minimum
Okay,
when we get to the calculation page. But if you tell us $10,000, it's then gonna do 10,000 times the percentage.
okay.
You've already hit the minimum.
I just wanted to make sure it put something in there, because,
Yep, we did.
Katie, before, just so the the audience who's listening to this, they want to do this, but they've never done this at all. Is there any guidelines that you should give them? Because they're trying to estimate and they have no clue. So how would
I
they
didn't tell
know?
them to go into a business. I presume they've made some of those projections when they decided to do an SDO.
Yeah, I don't think as a policy as a council
that's the way we want to come across
Yeah.
to our constituents.
Right.
so-
I don't know what to tell them they should be estimating for their revenue.
I think the minimum's fine, because they'll pay it when the actual
So
comes
there
out,
is a
they'll just pay
minimum,
it.
okay, that's fine.
Right, so.
I just want to make sure that someone doesn't get locked up here and then they have to start all over because.
So I'll say this so that so everybody is aware of that. This is an estimate. So if you estimate low, $1, you're gonna end up having to pay a $30 minimum business license fee. And that will be calculated in the calculation page. If you estimate high, 15,000, and say you're $1 and you actually then collect $15,000 for the year, that's the true up at the end of the year. We will catch up to that if you estimate low at the beginning and you got more than $1, and
Yeah.
then we finally get the actual amount, we are gonna get the true up happening on your business license owed. If you overestimate it and you didn't get 15,000 revenue, you only got 8,000 revenue, we actually do a true up to that and we issue a refund if you overpaid your business license tax.
Or put it towards
Again,
the
you
next
just
year.
don't get that until you do the true up at the end of the year and that gets generated out from the town.
Thank you, Katie,
Yeah.
that really helps.
It would be a credit, right?
So it's not credit, we actually will
It's a
issue a
check.
refund check.
If you want it.
The system cannot hold refunds, at all, so we will issue you, if we owe you money because you overpaid, we will issue a check out to you.
Interesting.
If you have underpaid, you can't get your next license year until you paid up that amount.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
okay?
So again, these are all just examples. We
Sure.
could have put a lot of different combinations
Yeah.
in here. So we just spoke a little bit about the different files that you can or may upload. Miscellaneous files could be anything else that pertains to your particular case in this example. And it's going to basically pop up, right, the screen here where you can download information, PDFs, whatever you want
It
to.
won't pop up a screen, you gotta tell me where your file is, go get it off your.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Select files, browse, etc.
Right.
Sure. And then after that, after you finish doing the documents, all right, you're gonna do a confirmation, and in that confirmation, it's basically just going to regurgitate everything that you just put in there, everything that you just said. There was the top of the form. Here's the bottom of the form. You'll notice, and I know it's very small too, but even here in the verification of the documents, it'll show business license, right, whatever it is that you uploaded. You uploaded 3 different files here. So of course, we can see that on the back end too. So when we're verifying all this information, we're looking at all of these files with our back end tool, our own dashboard internally. So probably the most important thing that you get to at the very end of this would be the certifications. The first one being, I hereby certify that I have the authority to make the foregoing application for a short-term rental, that the information given is true and correct, and that the use of the property as a short-term rental will conform to the laws, codes, and ordinances of the town of Cape Charles for the operation of a short-term rental business, as well as the Virginia statewide building code. The second one is going to be, I certify that the town's prepared STR training information has been reviewed annually. So this is the information that we're going to have posted on the STR site that you have to go and you have to watch, that is going to take you through this process and that will be narrated as well, similar to the information that we've had in the past. You're testing that you've done this. I certify that adjacent property owners have been notified that an application for an STR zoning permit has been submitted. And I certify under penalty of perjury that this information is accurate and I am an authorized representative or owner of this business. I acknowledge that my signature is legally binding. So you're going to electronically certify, it's got the date on there, and then of course you're going to click on continue. All right, so at this point, and again, so when we were running through this process with our testers, the last thing we wanted to do was charge ourselves $450 trying to use the town's card and getting to where we needed to go in order to test down the line. So we had them set it up for a $4 charge. So this is essentially what you're looking at here is a $4 charge, but it's showing the base fee is $450, all right? and then it's showing a revenue portion fee, which was the calculation of the $30 plus the additional money for the gross revenue.
No, back up. So it includes the base of 30 if you haven't hit that threshold, or if your estimated gross revenue is greater than, then it will take out that 30 and just calculate it.
Calculate the
Flat-
number.
flat out.
Gotcha.
Yes. But 450 again is our STR zoning permit fee that you put in place starting for this 2026 licensing year. Everybody good so far? Okay.
All right, so you're going to, once again, you're gonna go through the payment portion, where you're gonna put in your payment information. It's going to, then it's going to run it through the credit card process, and then it's basically gonna thank you. Your SDR certificate application has been submitted successfully. We have emailed you the details of the application. Your application will be reviewed and processed by the town of Cape Charles. We will contact you via email on the status of your application.
So can you go back one real quick? It's the arch payment or whatever, does it say somewhere on there that if you use the credit card, it's gonna be a 3% charge or whatever that is?
It's right there,
Where?
in the middle.
No, I'm
processing.
saying the screen before, oh, it automatically just puts it in, it doesn't say
But that
one
might
thing or
be
the other.
something, that screen where it said, make sure you have, very, very beginning, where it said, make sure you have your credit card, you might want to say, or electronic payment, credit card.
No charge.
will,
Yeah.
You know, something that way.
Because there is no charge for the arch, right? Just,
No,
Yes.
it's a check.
What?
It's a direct debt, it's a
hey,
direct.
let them answer. There may be a charge. I've been charged for an arch before.
I never had.
I have.
That's you guys, answer that question.
If you use the arch,
Is there
use a check, is there a fee?
Yes.
Oh, there is.
Oh, there's,
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
And it breaks it out, on the,
Why are we charging?
Is it
for
the
a
same
check?
fee
It's
for a
an
credit card or an
electronic
arch?
No, it's not, it's 2%, don't hold me to it, I'll have to look at the contract.
Okay. I would just
Whatever
put what it is.
Yeah.
But
put
it
that in
does
that-
delineate it in the payment portal.
It breaks it down there, but it doesn't tell you ahead of time what
I'm
the
assuming
charge
these guys get, I'm assuming why they're doing it is because they get a fee for it then.
So
Private
you'd like us to
transaction.
add that to that opening screen?
Yes, please.
That makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
a third-party payment company called Full Pay.
Yeah,
Oh,
full pay, full rip.
And that's why it
That's
does.
crazy.
Just like Stripe and the rest of them, okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we would like Marion and Ryan to talk about that piece, because again, ensuring the integrity of how payments are processed through this is really important to us, so I'm gonna turn that over to the two of you to talk about that, to give that assurance to council on this process.
Can I ask a question? What you just showed a second ago, is that a PDF that gets sent to the applicant for them to be able to print it off at home?
So we're not there yet because the applicant hasn't been certified yet. They basically reached the stopping point where we've told them, we will contact you via email on the status of your application. And that really could be by email or by phone. It could be Ryan calling the applicant, right, and verifying the information, or it could just be on our dashboard. It could be Ryan just clicking that he's verified the information and he's kind of kicked it to the inspection phase.
But is there a way for you to see your application that you submitted once you submit it?
You will receive an email.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Verification that you have paid and that you
Right.
have submitted your.
And you
Okay.
can always
But
go
it doesn't
in-
show you what your answers are. Like,
Yes.
you know, okay, so you'll get this and it'll show you what each of your answers were to the question.
Sure.
And and that's what I was asking, is it a PDF that you can print, or is it just gonna look like this?
I think that, I'm not sure. You can go back to your dashboard.
It's actually, it's an email that
With
looks
all of the list?
But
Okay.
you can go back and access that information
Oh,
in the
you can.
portal at any time.
Right.
You can go back and see your application. Okay, that's good.
That's cool.
So,
When you talked about, Ryan checks it, then it kicks it onto you to do, and then Jeb, is there a place in the portal that I can see the progress of my application?
Not at your level, no. You'll get communications from the town along the steps of where we are in that process, so you will know where we are in that process.
And what to expect next.
Yes.
You will hear from us. We don't say when, but you will hear from us.
to answer your question about the information again, what I have on the screen, and I know it's small, is we just went through the credit card charges, and now this is an email that I have received that's telling me what I paid. But if you read down the bottom, it's also regurgitating all the information that I have about that particular STR that I just applied for.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to get a transaction receipt, which is just a receipt specifically telling me what I have paid for that particular transaction.
Nice.
All right. And it's going to go all the way through, and it's basically going to tell me, okay, now I'm able to return back to the dashboard, at which time you're going to see there that, oh, okay, there's where I just went through registering my new STR, and now I'm over here in the active STR certificate area right here, and I can view that my whole submission right there. You may have noticed before too that it didn't say anything about paying taxes or anything else like that, but now these new buttons have popped up as well. All right. So it might help if I showed a little bit of the dashboard too, and that might help lead in or segue to what they're going to talk about. All right.
Yeah. While Casey's pulling this up, just so everybody knows, there are actually no passwords you have to remember. So each time you want to go in as an STR owner or property manager, we're going to come back and talk about the property manager piece here shortly. You just put in your email, you're in, and it'll register, it'll see you again, or you've got an account, so you're coming in again, it's going to send you another code. That's it. It's just
Does
a
that-
passcode that's going to be sent to you, you enter that in, that's
Oh.
it. So you never have to remember a password.
But they have to do the code each time. So not some random person can't just put in.
Just like Shopify.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can put in Marion's email address, but unless I'm sitting at her computer or I have her phone, I can't.
There you
do
go.
anything.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
So, well, I know you're gonna keep going, so I wanna hit the property manager piece. So, say I am a property manager and I got 5 accounts under me. So, yes, you can go in and type in your email address, and again, a lot of these are already pre-populated, so they're not setting up new accounts, they are coming in as if they are already in, because they are already in. So I'm gonna pick on Christy Iverson, who does, Blue
Chesapeake Properties.
Chesapeake Properties, thank you. So she would put in her email address and then it would populate, and if she's been listed as a property manager for them, then all of those accounts will show up on her right-hand screen dashboard that she is then going to start working through to renew for each of those accounts that she has.
Question
Yes.
on that sense, if a property manager comes in, how is each property separated by taxes? In other words, they can go each property, pay each all right, good. So it's not one big lump.
It doesn't, no.
You have to.
Good.
And as it stands right now, we have not activated the bulk processing nor bulk payment feature that's allowed here. We want to do each one individually,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
This
yeah.
for our first year in, we want to make sure we really have the kinks worked out
Yeah, I'd continue.
before I really complicate things. That's it.
Yeah, I think it should remain like that.
Yeah.
So this is not something that the public will ever see. Just so you know, you're getting a rare glimpse into what is the back end of what we will manage from the staff side of things.
And it's a very powerful and robust tool with a lot of information too that I haven't even had time to absorb. So we're really just gonna kind of hit the high points on here. And while we're kind of segueing with, oh, well, how do we get a customer through this process, right? Well, this would be our dashboard. There's lots of different dashboards in here, but this one is in particular is called STR licenses. And one of the things that you're going to notice is that we have all these licenses already pre-populated in here of all of our STR owners. Current meaning that they're 2025 STR owners and operators, okay? It's got all their names, information, etc. So here we have current, but then we also have some information that has been submitted. Now, I can query this in all sorts of different ways, but when Jeb and I are looking at this information, we can query it down to the people who have submitted. So can finance, And submitted is actually saying someone has submitted an application, which basically is going to tell Ryan in the finance department that they need to go in and they need to check out that information and they need to verify all of it. From their perspective, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have all of the details of this particular property, etc., that they're going to verify. Do they need to speak to any of that?
We'll be verifying a lot on the back end.
Sure.
We'll be looking at TOT, whether it's paid previously, we'll be looking at, whether if it's a property manager, if they have their business PPOL
Yes,
or not.
so you are using a property manager, they are gonna have to have a business license to be a property manager, and we're gonna be verifying that information. If they don't have a business license, then it's gonna stop until that property manager you selected gets a business license.
Do they currently
Do they currently
have
have that?
people? I mean, they do, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and we've worked hard the last year to
Yeah.
educate and get all of them in compliance.
Yeah.
We don't know if we've actually caught them all.
Oh, I know the other individual properties. I'm saying the
No, I do mean
property
the
manager, property managers, yeah, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, they're gonna be comparing ownership, all the information to put in there. And to answer your question about, well, how long will this take? That's kind of a moving target depending on the information that they provided and how truthful it is or what they come across while they're doing this.
Particularly the trash can piece.
Yeah.
Because once they've reported what they need, we need to ensure that that's sitting at their house.
Right. So you'll notice before though that it currently says that this has been submitted. So then we get a drop down right here. After the finance department has gone through all of the phases of their investigation, I'm not gonna do this because I don't wanna
You're in line, don't do
mess
this.
with all this. We're gonna go to ready for inspection, okay? So ready for inspection then is just what's telling Jeb and I when we're querying this database here. And again, I could drill it down, but in the interest of time, I'm just gonna roll down to the bottom. Here's a ready for inspection right here. That means we need to contact that STR or that applicant, and we need to go ahead and set up an inspection with them. Hey, we received your application, we talked to finance, you're good to go. When can we come in and see the property?
So open this inspection portal and property.
Okay, so bear with me a little bit, because first time we've actually been able to get our hands on this is today. So, okay, so once we queried it under the back-end portal, we go to the inspection portal, and then we would start, so we would know the address. So this is the one we worked on today. It was 301 Madison Avenue. See, it populates, and we'll have to actually click on it. Unit numbers, if it's apartments or if it's duplexes, obviously we would add that. Property type, single family, duplex, or apartment are the three we're really concerned about. In this case, it's a single family. Type of inspection, this is going to be a new one because we haven't inspected it for the year yet. Owner agent, so we actually have, we learned today you actually have to put that information in. But we actually have iPads that are going to have all this information on it, and our plan is to populate this information and put it on a hold stage before we ever leave the office. That way, we're not wasting time in the field doing that. So we'll just put in Katie's information here. And then we'll put in the role, either owner or agent, which will go with owner. So go right down, once all that's finalized, we begin the inspection. All right, so basically we have it broke down into kind of four different components: exterior elements, interior elements, fire safety, electrical, mechanical, plumbing. This is kind of a list that I kind of put together. And then it just goes down and gives us a whole bunch of things, all things that, I deal with: address numbers, exterior conditions, stairs, decks, handrails, swimming pool if applicable. This was kind of something we were working with on the company, if we could get NAs instead of yes or no. We've gotten answers that they can do it, we've gotten answers they can't do it. So at this moment, we don't have it. So like, if I don't have a pool, I'll just have to say it complies, even if they don't have it at this point. I really would like to get non-applicable,
Right.
but that's still a work in progress. Okay, so Boaster, which is over the base occupancy short-term rental, which is over 10, which is what you all said, right? So we have to make sure that they have extra parking and that they have signage for that parking. Gas grills, we don't want them up against houses, obviously. Charcoal grills, trash can requirements, exterior lighting. So I'm gonna go through and just click these just to show you. And let's just say this one needs a correction.
Red flag.
We like red.
And you can take a picture.
Yeah, and you can take a picture, and we probably will get to that, take a picture just so we're documenting it. And then it gives us notes down here, so I'll just say, handrail loose.
So you have to put everything that passes as well, so even that one for the over 10 is now gonna get a pass, even though,
Correct, that's why we're really trying to push them to get an NA in there.
yeah, because that's gonna be a problem. Because someone's gonna come back and say, hey, look, my inspection says I could have over 10.
No, what they're gonna see on their STR sheet is not gonna include every one of these things.
Okay,
It's not gonna include that,
okay.
yeah.
I just
No,
thought
no.
this was like auto-populating out after you were done.
Adam's like, holy
So,
cow.
This is not something that the public sees. This is our back end side. This
Okay.
is what Casey and I will see when we're doing our inspection.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah,
But it'd be easier for you to have an NA,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we want an NA.
yeah.
So, all right, and then we get to interior, working doors, windows, stairways, handrails again, egress, windows. We're gonna say all that complies. We got bedroom occupancy requirements, which goes back to the two per bedroom plus a 2 for one room. It meets the square footage. Then we get into fire safety. You've got fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, carbon monoxides, all common stuff. Electrical panels, any other electrical safety issues, mechanical issues, water heater installed properly. So we're gonna say everything else passed except for that one item on the handrail. Okay? So once we've gone through and done our inspection, we can go right here, go to next. So then we'll confirm that we failed the inspection, it needs to be in what it is, and then as of right now, the system is putting a 2-week window for compliance. That's still, Katie and I have had a lot of discussion about that, that's still a work in progress for us, because while a 2-week window in January is fine, 2-week window in May is not okay if they're renting the next day. So that's something we kind of, I guess we need to address.
We're gonna monitor that as we keep moving
Yeah.
forward. Yes.
But what we're trying to do, and with the system, is we're trying to push everybody to not wait.
Right.
January, February, March are perfect times to get this stuff in and let us get in and do your inspections. I don't like being in a rental in May when, I don't like interrupting a family when a kid's sleeping in the room and I gotta go in there and check a window. I don't like that. I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, so I've been driving this for years. I want to do these in January, February, March, and we will get them done if you get them in, right?
How were they able to rent it though if they don't have the inspection?
They're not.
Okay.
And that is part of the enforcement piece that you all have finally given us some teeth to go after, right?
Mhm.
That's why we have
Right.
this gentleman right here to go after that for us. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So what do we do, about, like, right now, I just do a search on VRBO for a week next July for 14 people in Cape Charles. And I get multiple options of 4-bedroom, 2-bath homes that I could rent and put a deposit on right now. What do we do with that?
Nothing.
I mean, have you done any inspections? I mean, I know we have the
Here's
plus
thing.
2.
I spent all last year in every STR that I did an inspection on, I spent at least a half hour with either the property owner or the property manager.
Explaining.
Explaining it. I had a sheet, I measured every bedroom, and I said, look, here is the maximum number you can get. It may have been, you need to switch bedrooms, you can get 4 here and 2 here, or it may have been, look, you're just not gonna get the number you want.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a house in Jefferson that can legally sleep 16. They have no off-street parking. They're limited to 10.
Yeah.
And we've told them that. There's multiple. So, I mean, I've spent a lot of education last year, and a lot of people seem to be complying, but I don't know. I do know some people have said, even when we did the testing environment with several people, that there are VRBO listings out there that aren't what they're saying. Like, they updated it, but it's still out there.
Yeah.
So here's
Oh,
what
right.
happened
That
with
does
this.
happen.
So once you come apply, and we work our way through it, and we get
Yeah.
all the way to the point that we have issued the zoning permit, the STR zoning permit, and you're gonna see that, it's here towards the end of Casey's presentation, you're gonna see the actual certificate that gets issued shows the number of occupants, number of bedrooms. That is now going to be linked to show up on the VRBO website, to show up on the Airbnb, wherever
nice.
you are advertising is now going to show our requirement and what you've been certified for under your permit.
Oh, that's good.
So that's what I said. Can I help it today for you to go rent something in July right now?
Yeah.
No, I can't. But I'm gonna, as soon as you apply for your license and we approve it, all that information is gonna filter into those websites, those agreements, and it's gonna show up of, this is not in compliance with the STR permit for this property. And then that's gonna show up on our back end as well, going, they're advertising not in compliance with what they've been approved for. And we're gonna be doing some, education, and if they still move forward with that, rental, enforcement.
You don't know 14 people anyway.
So, I mentioned before that sort of the power of this tool too, that we have, but you haven't really seen the picture that it gives us of all the rentals yet. And so I think that, along with the statistics and everything else too, are kind of gonna open your mind to what's going on, maybe blow your mind too. And as the information gets greater and greater and greater, I think there's also gonna be statistics in there too, that you're gonna say, wow, this is really helpful to us making decisions too, especially with regard to, we wanna go from monthly, well, we're considering going to quarterly, well, look at these stats right here, we don't really need the stuff that we had before, because I think I can see it right here. So anyhow, we're gonna show you a little bit of that in just a second.
All right, so this is the confirmation page that we're actually failing the inspection, and we finalized the inspection. There will be times that I actually will require a reinspection, like physically going to the property. There will also be times where, all right, so then, okay, so let me get back to it. Property status, okay, it shows it failed, all right? So then we can go right here and email the results to the owner. All right, so say the neighbor let me in, or we got in by a key code, and before I would just leave a sheet of paper or would have to email them. This immediately emails it to them. It already has the population of the email because we filled that in before we ever started
That's
the
great.
inspection, right? So that email just went and said that you failed.
Or even if the property owner's there and they heard it all, we're still gonna email.
Still gonna email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there is also a property manager, do both people get this email, the owner and the manager?
No, it would just be the one we populated when we created that inspection. Yeah. So back to what I said, so sometimes I would require a physical reinspection. A lot of times before, it was a smoke detector, that battery was missing, or somebody pulled it down because it was a nuisance. I would get them to email me and say, or tell them, just email me a picture of it installed back up, okay? So instead of them emailing me, what they can do is they can go back in to the customer portal where you created your STR, where's your PowerPoint?
So, well, you can just go ahead and take them to the customer portal right there.
Yeah, but then I would have to have an email to get in.
Right, so PowerPoint is, sorry, you're gonna have to pull it back up. You're gonna have to click on there in order to go there and open.
Sorry.
We were trying to keep it from interfering
Yeah.
with everything else.
So they can go back into the customer portal, and they can go to edit their information. And if you remember that one section where you could upload documents, like it was upload, if you're a property manager, you have to have permission from the owner. But there's a there's a third one that says other information.
Yeah. Here it is, next one.
Okay, right here, so document upload. So you can go right back in, edit your information. You don't have to change anything, you just go through the screens until you get to a document upload screen. Right here under miscellaneous information, they can upload a picture of their smoke detector or whatever I said they could do. And then once they save that, then we get a notification that something has been uploaded under their account. So then we can go in and verify, okay, this meets what we said, and then we can move the process forward. Stops us from having to go back out for minor violations.
So once they go through and get to that, they still have to finish all the way to the end
So all
again?
they do, there's no more filling out information, because all they're doing is to edit, and they just go, they have to click through every page.
That's what I
They can't just go to, they can't go to a page, they click through every page. Nothing they have to change or write, because it's
Right.
all there. They just keep it and continue till they get to this, and then you continue on. It won't bring you back to a payment page or anything like that.
Right, but what I'm saying is they still have to go all the way to the end as well for that document to be
They
uploaded?
do.
Okay,
Yeah, they do.
okay. Yeah.
It's not that they're paying again, 'cause they've
No,
already.
no, 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 I'm just saying,
But it's
they
six-
need to know that they
it's
need to
six-
finish, like, just because the document's uploaded, it's not done yet.
No, it'll tell them you have to continue on.
Yeah.
Be nice if that was on the
Well, it'd be
dashboard.
nice if it was on the portal page where they have the three, certificate and all
Yeah.
that.
What we've found in this process is we can't do as much with the software as we'd like to do sometimes.
Some of the tailoring can't be
Right
done
now.
just for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
But
sure
even
that-
adding buttons and things like that, I mean, I don't know that that's,
So we can put in our suggestions, and they may take it company-wide, or they may say, we can't handle that request from you. So
Yeah,
far,
you'd
we've
think
got
they
a
would
lot
have
of things that we
miscellaneous
want.
upload in that one area.
So I will say this too, that because we had a group of testers come in too, and we had a property manager come in, plus we had STR owners come in too, they all tested it and it was very intuitive. So I think once you all get your hands on it, you'll find that it's the same way too.
Yeah.
Are there gonna be some things that maybe are different than other platforms? It mirrors a lot, but yes, there may be something that's different than other platforms. But for the most part, it's very, very similar to others. So I'm just gonna take you all very briefly back to, and I know this is really choppy, it's hard to kind of see this all in its progression. Let's see if I can get this back up again. But if I go to Rentalscape, right, remember this is the dashboard that we are looking at internally, right? After it has been reviewed, which is essentially it's passed its inspection, right? Yeah, it says ready for inspection, then it goes to reviewed, and once it goes to reviewed, that's essentially telling the zoning department, hey, these folks have made it through step 1, step 2, step 3, and now it's our turn. So on their dashboard, oh, I need to go in, I need to check reviewed, and I'm gonna go through all the zoning information, at which time they're gonna be looking for a variety of things, and when Katie and her crew's done, they're gonna click submitted, okay? And submit it then. They're gonna click submit, and that new record is going to go current, meaning they're done with that aspect of it.
Just so you know, you're part of my crew too.
Yes.
So when it moves to current, that's when or every time it moves, a change in that field,
That's
that,
status for us.
that
It's
generates the
internal status
email
moving it through the workflow.
to the owner yeah.
Yes, so that's where it comes to where I'm ready, that you are perfect with the ordinance, we're ready to issue you your STR permit for the year. And this is what it looks like. When it's all said and done.
56 trash cans. Woo, that's a big property. Yeah, get rid of that glitch, 'cause 3 of the properties did have 5 trash cans this past year.
Yeah, again, just know we were testing lots of things to make sure things flow through the system. So yes, this is just a sample, a template we put forward.
That's great.
But that's what the certificate looks like. So this is what they will need to print. They'll get an email with this as an attachment. This is a document they'll need to print and post in their establishment. Yes. So it contains the most important things that we heard from you, both the number that we've issued it for, the name of the certificate holder, go through it. You
The
do it.
property address, right, when it's been issued, But all of this then is going to be on a calendar year, so it is going to expire at the end of the calendar year. And then it's going to give the 24/7 contact, the occupancy, parking spaces, trash cans, etc. So,
Maybe get 1 + 2.
and essentially it's going to come in the form of an email when it's all done.
So we also post business licenses now.
This is all one.
I was gonna say that, now you only have to do this because it's within there.
Now for the STR.
So,
Beautiful.
Yes.
yeah, so, all right, let's get back to this, because this is the other piece that I was talking to you about. So this is not this is our internal dashboard when we're looking at this. All right, so here we're looking at the town of Cape Charles, and essentially what Rentalscape is doing is it is scouring the internet. It's scouring the internet for any information that it can find on hundreds and hundreds of rental sites about short-term rentals as it applies to the town of Cape Charles. And then it's marking it. And on a lot of these, go ahead.
No, so you're gonna see we have color coding on our map, the internal map. The red ones, what do you think they mean?
Oh, I know what they mean.
There you go.
No
We've got
license.
some issues, they're not in compliance. But here's, I think, where we have the edge. Just pick on one of these pictures and walk them through that.
Sure. So the yellow is even ones that could have a possible violation, may not. So from my perspective, a compliance perspective, that's what I'm doing, is I'm going through and I'm looking through and assessing and evaluating all of those. All the green, so it's giving us information about ones that we know are STRs and are compliant, but it's also giving us all the information. It's giving us the pictures, it's giving us the location, it's compiling all of the booking activities from multiple sites. It's showing us that it is listed on both VRBO and Airbnb. It's showing us that for VRBO that it has a live listing, that Airbnb it has a live listing. We can go to that live listing too, and there it is.
Clayton, this is kind of where
Where
we
the-
were
yeah.
talking about. So I'm just gonna say, so Amy Buda was one of our test candidates when she came in, and when we pulled up their rental, it showed 3 different VRBO listings that Decker had found, and they all had different occupancy numbers on it.
So there's not anything that I can do about that. The town can't do anything to change that information. It will start to highlight to that property owner going, you need to go clean up that information with Airbnb or VRBO to ensure they're only listing the right stuff for your account.
Did all 3 show active with different numbers?
Well, yeah, I mean, it showed different numbers. Again, I haven't been in the system enough to know, to be able to look at everything and understand how everything is, but if you were to go to his property, it shows 3 listings.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of information here too that you really have to evaluate. For example, we've been going through listings that are in yellow right now, and like he said, there could be 5 different listings for VRBO, but they may not all be current. Only one of them may be live, but we can still see all of them. The other thing is too, is of course you can look at the differences between what their occupancy is supposed to be, what they're saying online for VRBO, for Airbnb, for any listing that's online at all. Plus you can also see, all right, booking. In some cases you can't see booking in the past. In this particular case you can see booking in the past. But the other thing that you can do is you can go to all of the reviews. So if I'm looking at somebody who hasn't had an STR license or a business license for the last 3 years that has been flagged, I can go and look at all of their reviews and I can see, oh, people have been staying there and paying since 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, etc. So these are some of the tools that it gives us to be able to have a conversation with that owner or that advertiser about, okay, well, I'm seeing some inconsistencies here, and oh, you didn't have a license last year, but you have been reporting TOT. What happened? Oh, well, I didn't know that you had to renew every single year. Well, that makes sense. You've been reporting your TOT, but you didn't have it. Let's bring you into compliance, okay? So it's really giving us a variety of information that we can use for a variety of scenarios. Again, it's all very powerful, real-time information that's getting changed all of the time, too. And the other thing that I mentioned before, too, is statistics. Now, we have the listing that we're using here, but a variety of other things that we can use as well.
I'm
This-
actually not gonna go into that tonight, because we're
Sure.
already an hour and a half into this presentation,
20 minutes.
so.
It's great, it was, I wanted to make sure I didn't just dream that, it was only supposed to be 20 minutes,
25.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it took a lot more.
That's
It's a lot to unload. We've been learning this a long time. We hope we have set this up in a means to fully incorporate the requirements of the ordinance that you've adopted. And we have a means of running it through the system with the proper checks and balances between our various departments. And to make it as user-friendly as possible. And I hope we've achieved that. I guess we'll actually get our grade probably about mid-year. Just to have it
That's
in.
great.
Hey, you should call up Deb and show her that.
I know.
That's an inside one. She spent a lot of years.
Tracking it down. Yeah.
So I do want to stop this,
That's
we've
pretty
taken a
cool.
lot of your time this evening, we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
thank
yes,
you.
Thank
we'll
you,
be
guys.
launching this shortly, I wish I could say exactly the date. I'm still working with Libby about where exactly we're putting this on our website, the links to the two portals, the public-facing portal and the registration portal, okay?
So if we all do, like, the ones I do, I try to do them early. I wait for this to come out, for whatever
We
date
have
that
to wait for
is.
this to come out, because we're not accepting any paper applications for 2026. We are still ahead of the game, because we've never accepted applications this early, ever. So I'm pretty confident we will have this available before the calendar year is closed.
Oh, good.
I'm
That's when I
hoping-
do it, is January.
It might be tomorrow, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, somewhere around there, we're trying to get this launched. And we will have communication coming out by email to all the existing license holders when this launches.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yeah. As long as it's not like that.
Great job, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's put a check mark on that one. All righty. So, public comments. All right, no public comments. Moving on. And no emails? All right, done. If I can get approval for the consent agenda for the minutes and approval for the 2025 fiscal report, financial report.
So moved,
Sec-
along with the format for the agenda.
All right,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Unfinished business, which has been postponed again with the restrooms. Did you want to say anything on that, or we're just moving on?
Yeah, I mean, I can give a comment. I
All
think, from our last meeting, it might have been my misunderstanding, but I kind of took it that we were going in a direction. And so I have been working with the building owner to try to get a lease agreement together with the terms that I had given to you. I was under the impression of getting this finalized to bring back. However, I think it was more of a clear, you guys need to make a decision on one, and then I will go and with your direction for me to get this thing finalized. So I will have that in a special meeting come January.
Yeah, so I'd ask that the January 8th meeting be
Yeah.
converted into a special meeting in order to allow
Yes.
voting. on
That's what I
that.
thought too. Yeah.
So that was my misunderstood.
Okay.
Any, while we're talking bathroom, any word on the portable or, you know, the sort of quasi-temporary one that we purchased?
Oh, right,
You know,
yeah.
I reached out to them in, with asking them that I want to be able to give you information. I got no word back.
So they have our money and no
They-
communication?
They have been in communication with me, you know, when I usually ask them for updates. In fact, during the time for Festive Fridays, when we rented a trailer, they were one of the ones that I asked, and they did get back with me. However, they did not get back with me in a timely manner for me to give information to you about this.
So can you make that part of the update at the January
Yes.
meeting? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
I mean, I was gonna send one as soon as I get one, but I was hoping to put it in the weekly report, but they just didn't have it.
An email earlier on that would be great, if we can get it before the 8th. All right, permitting of the accessory dwelling units for short-term rentals.
If I may, so this was a follow-up item because we had some conversation at our October meeting about should there be a further comp plan language addition. And Councilman Grossman argued his point quite extensively. And I hate to say this, I've come around to his way of thinking. I do feel there's language that should come into the comp plan to address a couple of items relative to housing and diversity of housing stock. I do concur, though, it does not have to be part of the ADU STR component of this conversation. So I have added it, and we will be opening up the comp plan to determine this year as under our natural course, under the 5-year plan, update and review of it. If we should make further edits and changes to the comp plan, I will add that to the list if that's what we'd like to consider it then. So there's actually no further action required from you this evening, and in fact, your comp plan and zoning text amendment relative to this issue are scheduled for public hearing to the Planning Commission on January 6th, and then coming to you for public hearing on January 15th. So.
All right. Any more questions on
I
that?
have a question. And it's process, I just need to understand. So the recommended changes to the ordinance are in green in what you've provided us, is that correct?
Yes, any new language is in green, any deletions are shown in the red stripe through.
Okay, and so from a process standpoint, this is going first to the Planning Commission?
To public hearing, yes.
Okay, has the Planning Commission already talked about this?
Yes, they have.
And what was their feedback on in particular, the ADU being prohibited from the +2 occupancy allowance?
They're actually the ones who supported that, yes. And they helped develop this language to come back to you to ensure we've incorporated all the necessary components, yes.
So that the Planning Commission was comfortable with it's prohibited from the +2 occupancy allowance?
Yes, because the size of your ADUs are quite small.
But not all of them?
Yes.
Not all of
They're
them?
no larger than 550 square feet for the most part. There is a small exception if you have a double lot, that you can have a slightly larger ADU, but otherwise you are limited no greater than 5, I think it's 550.
So if there is a scenario with someone who has a larger ADU than the norm, they still can only have 2 people in it? The way this is written?
Yes. That's the way we're proposing it go to public hearing.
Process-wise, they have an opportunity to talk at the public hearing, and the planning commission then will have to, again, recommend to us what
Correct.
Okay,
they would like to do.
okay, that needs to just be communicated then, okay.
So that's why they're going to public hearing.
Understood,
Both
again, it
parties.
was process, I needed to just get my hands around that, thank you.
All right, moving on to some new business. Town code changes regarding the transient occupancy tax.
Well, you have before you a recommendation that we take a look at changing the transient occupancy tax collection in 2 ways. The first way would be to do that quarterly, like we've been looking at with the software. It makes more sense for us, it's more efficient. It will require us having a new baseline for information, but I think that we follow it correctly, which we intend to, that we'll have new data based on quarterly results. Also, right now, if someone pays their tax by the 20th of the following month, for the preceding period, then they have a slight discount. I'd like to see that we don't offer that discount anymore, that you pay your taxes on or before the 20th after the preceding quarter. And if you don't, then there's a late fee to simplify. So I would like for you all to consider those things and ask any questions if you have them.
Well, the state doesn't do it. Actually, they give you a 10.
They do give you a discount.
Not that much.
That was my only concern, is getting rid of the discount. I didn't know if there was any other way of incentive, but I thought that I was trying to figure out in the software, is that the reason that you're trying to get rid of it? Or I just feel like it's a very positive incentive to have.
How many people who
Yeah.
avail themselves of it now? That was my question.
And how much is it really,
Costing.
right, each
I
person?
don't have the numbers.
It's, I mean, like I can use us as an example. I mean, it's, you know, if we are paying $750 that particular month in tot, it's 5% less. So it's 50, you know, it's sometimes $20, sometimes $80. It's never more than that, but it's, I don't know, it is an incentive
And what I
to,
was gonna say about it is it does only apply to those companies, because the short-term rentals that are doing Airbnb and Vrbo, they don't have,
They can't
they
get
can't
that.
get it.
yeah.
So they're still paying full, no matter whether they pay early, and then they will pay late fees if it's late, but I mean, I'm with Tammy, I think there should be some kind of incentive to, and if it's not a big number, I don't know why we need to take it away.
I'll have to take that up with the software folks to see how we would do that.
Because it's currently not programmed for this incentive
Mm-hmm.
to be calculated, just so you know that.
Yeah, when I first brought the question up, I didn't realize that was going to be the case, you know?
If they can't do it, then we're basically saying,
Yeah.
yeah,
Can you do it as part of the true-up process at the end of the year, though?
how do you track that?
You can see when they paid their taxes.
The true up act for this year will be done in the software, because we will have the base numbers for 2026.
Gotcha.
You gotta remember too, you can't just keep, they gotta check this, I mean,
Well, with the software, it's gonna even be harder,
The software
because
will-
the Vrbo and the Airbnb
Yeah.
will not get the discount, it's only gonna be that third bucket.
And so the B&Bs and the hotel are the only, there's only what, there's four of us that impacts, right?
Do you wanna look at breaking those out separately for?
Well, I don't know, I'm not proposing that, we can't take advantage of the cool system thing, you know, and online and all of that, which is super wonderful, you know, to kind of do it that way,
I
but,
just say we take it away from the short terms.
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest way to do it, that they don't get the discount at all, and then
I just don't want-
the software
yeah.
stays and everybody else gets their
Yeah.
discount.
I can't speak to it, I don't feel that's fair for me to speak to it as a B&B owner for that part of the decision, but I didn't bring it up for that reason, I know it's certainly an incentive that those that I know, not necessarily short-term rentals, but B&Bs and hotel take advantage of.
The short-term rental software does not factor in Airbnbs, or, I'm sorry, B&Bs and hotels, so it's possible we could do it that way if you would like.
Yeah, I mean, if there were a motion out there that we take that 5% away from the short-term rentals, then that would solve the problem with your software, correct?
I'm just uncomfortable voting on that. If 100% of the short-term businesses are using this discount,
Yeah,
then I'm uncomfortable with us changing it. But if it's
Well,
one, no,
It's-
of course
it's not even close.
I'm saying, I'm trying to just
How many people,
comparison here.
what are we talking about?
One person or
how many people
one-
manage their own place?
If it's one short-term rental owner that this is gonna impact, I feel a little bit differently than if it's 50% of the short-term homeowners, or if it's 100% of the short-term. Could you provide us with that information and we make that decision?
And let me confer with
Well, I'm
Ryan.
gonna say, I don't think you can actually provide it, because we don't know.
Not with Airbnb.
Right.
Right, but it wouldn't, you're already saying that we can't
You can't get a
the
discount.
in Airbnb and Vrbo anyway, so that ship has sailed. We're gonna have to do away with that discount. But are there any who are not using Airbnb and Vrbo, who are renting it on their own and are paying in advance so that they can avail themselves of this
Some of
discount?
them are paying in advance, they're paying by the deadline you've established to achieve that 5% discount that's in the current code. I don't think we can actually give you that answer, realistically.
Well,
And
there's a,
I'm saying that because we have seen the reporting that's come in, we've done the spreadsheets.
That's correct.
I can't say I've got many that are actually fully reporting to us timely, even today. So we have just started to really analyze the TOT reporting going on for the last year.
Oh, you don't think people aren't reporting timely currently?
Yeah,
Oh,
That's correct.
yeah.
I'm such a little do-gooder. I would never even think that people were doing, I was like, really? I'm like, I'm appalled.
They can make that pretty easy, do what the state does, charge you 10%,
Exactly.
10% penalty.
I mean, it's not our money, we're just a pass-through for goodness sakes, you know?
And it's just two, is
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying.
He's saying not a lot.
Maybe no more than 10.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, that's what I was looking for.
Wow.
So are you on board for it?
I'm a little more comfortable if it's just 10 people than if it's everybody,
Wow.
It's not.
okay?
Huh.
I don't like doing away with an incentive or a discount.
Me
It
too.
is- It is
It just makes uncomfortable, it's very uncomfortable.
But if we don't, the software is gonna
Yeah.
crash immediately.
The software's gonna take, yeah, take
You're
it
not,
money
you're not gonna get it
without a
anyway.
discount, so it is what it is.
Well,
They're
we need to do something here. Either,
So I'll make a
Kill the-
motion that we amend our Code of Ordinances, Article 5, Transient Occupancy Tax, to revise the reporting and remittance schedule from monthly to quarterly, and to eliminate the on-time payment discount.
across the board.
In accordance with the ordinance that we have here, right?
Right.
Proposed.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, so I move for adoption of ordinance 2025-1218. I will, yep. Updating Cape Charles Town Code, Chapter 18, Article 5, Transient Occupancy Tax 18-196 and 18-198, as noticed, and forego the reading of the ordinance. And what discussion do we have? Other than what we've had. Anybody? All right.
Marion's got this.
Oh,
Effective as of January 1st.
January 1, yes.
Well,
it's
effective-
whatever's in the ordinance.
The ordinance talks.
We're not changing anything on the ordinance, we're leaving it as is. All right, so this requires a roll call vote. Ashworth,
Yes,
Buckholz,
Yes.
Buda,
Yes.
Grossman,
Yes.
Holloway,
Yes.
and Newman.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
That motion is unanimous. All right.
This could have been a 30-minute.
Reappointment of the Historic District Review Board member.
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Kathy Glazier to the Historic District Review Board for another 5-year term.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to just thank Kathy for her
Yes,
service.
For another 5 years.
Another 5 years. She's a brave lady.
All right.
Second term, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Town Manager, your comments this evening?
Yeah, sure. I just want to give you a couple updates. So, I was sick, pretty sick. We've had some sickness kind of go through our town staff. Pretty bad, I know. Thank you, Mary.
What are you guys doing?
I
Yeah.
know. We meet a lot, that's what the problem is. So it's affected all of us, and then we were
didn't
all
know that.
crunched to try to get the survey out, which it did go out on Monday.
Yes, it did.
If everything could have gone wrong, it did. And so it was a hard situation for all of us. How many total we have? 2,500-ish? Okay, so that's how many went out.
Any responses yet?
Yeah, we have a few responses.
Okay.
So some,
I think when I checked yesterday, there were 39
Oh,
online.
okay,
yeah,
good.
so
Little
Oh, you're only allowed to do it
overachievers.
once.
we really expect a lot more to come back.
Make up
So
names.
kudos to Pam, Libby, Marion, Katie, everyone. I mean, we spent a lot of staff hours. And so what I've asked them to do is to kind of calculate how many hours in dollars so you could see what we actually put into it. It was a lot. And the reason why is, should we be doing it this way? And that's the question. Or should we contract this out? And is it cheaper to get another third party to do a survey like this for us? Or should we think about it and just totally different, do it every couple years? There's just the amount of time that I put in, and so it's just something you need to be aware of when you're evaluating the results of what we're getting out of it. So that's that, and we hope that we're going to see a lot of stuff. So we're excited. Another one I just want to give you. So I reached out to Virginia American Water and just, hey, what's the update? I know they're supposed to bring us stuff back, and then also just about the whole total dissolved solids in the water, and is this is this okay? And when we bring the Keck wells online, is that gonna actually help it? So this is just kind of preliminary. The response was, the total dissolved solids around 765, I guess parts per million or something like that. I'm not really an expert of what all that means, but I'm sure Paul does. The Keck well actually is good. It's around, there's two different sites they looked at. It was 104 in one and 126 in the other. So that's going to be added to that. So if, in theory, it should reduce it. You know,
That's the whole reason we're putting them on.
Right. So that's a good thing for us. There's, you know, we're still in process of getting all that stuff worked out. And the last was, it's still an attorney's working this out. So it's closer, but, you know, every legal agreement takes time, and this is what's happening. As far as when they're gonna come back to the town to talk about the 10 million and what that's gonna go, they're saying that they're still looking at some studies to track this, that they are planning to have this finished in February, and then they're gonna be ready to bring that to you shortly after that. So, mid-February is probably the anticipated date that you should hear something in a presentation of what they're gonna bring to you guys. So that's that.
Well, they're bringing it to us, but I thought the whole thing is we were bringing it to them for the first meeting.
No, they would come to us, and their initial was a 12-month study.
Yeah.
And then follow within so many months after that, a presentation.
Right.
We're well over a year and a half now, and we need to hold their feet to the fire for mid-February.
Yes.
So that's the second time I've asked them. You know, third time. The first time was when I did a tour with John Hosey. The second time is when I met with the president, you know, letting her know that, hey, we're still waiting for this. And then this is the third with an email to Matt Elliott, and Matt's working on this to try to get this
Well,
faster.
I'd go back into the franchise agreement to
Yeah.
see what was stated relative to their return to us on this. Franchise agreement should have it. It's
Yes.
certainly in the SEC filing, because I've seen the words in there. Now, it's not in the final order, but I'm just saying our franchise agreement that both parties have signed should have words to timeline when they get back to us.
And then my question would be, is the president on those emails as well as Matt?
No,
I think
I can add that.
I would add that.
If I may, just, my office had a lot of contact with them because they've been asking on projections. I've been working with them on and off for the last 9 months on our grow out projections and growth projections. I know they've continued, I've talked to probably 4 of their engineers on this, so I know they are actively working on it. I'm not disputing that they have a deadline to commit to and live up to, but they have been working on it, they just aren't jumping on it suddenly.
No, plus they've also had quite a bit of turnover.
Yes. I have a question just with American Water. Has anybody else noticed the increase in the flush stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is that about? Does anybody know?
What I was told is that they're sending out notifications every time they do it, and this is the season that they're doing a lot of them.
We only did it once a year.
So yeah,
Okay.
they're
It's like every
actively-
week or something.
Yeah,
I feel
they're-
like I'm getting it.
They're doing more than that.
Okay.
So some of them they're really behind, and it's past due, and so this is the season they're doing it. So that's what they said.
I
Bear
actually
with
think
us.
some of them didn't happen, so they had got pushed back.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
And I know when I went to Bay Creek, when I went to the Civic League, it comes up every time.
Okay.
Like, why am I getting so many notifications? So,
Well, I have to tell guests each time it happens. I have to kind of alert them.
Yeah.
So I'm maybe a little more hypersensitive to that.
yeah. So just
We'll
a
talk
couple
about
a couple more things to,
Yeah.
just for you to be aware of. The new municipal building status. I know many people were asking me, so I got an update on that. The site plan drawings for the new municipal building at the corner of Randolph and Fig have been completed by HBA. It has been submitted to VDOT and VDEQ and the zoning administrator for review. An excerpt, which is a site plan, you know, that they did submit that to us, and if you want a copy, I can send you a copy, an email. That's been done. So they go through details of what all that actually means and how it fits. It is anticipated that the review of the site plan and any necessary revisions will be completed by the end of January. Update the building drawings to reflect the new building code, and any changes necessitated by the new site plan should be completed by the end of February. We are targeting advertising the initiation of the bids by mid-March. So that's the schedule that we're on, according to Bob. Paul and I have been working on a committee regarding the workforce housing, bid proposals and things like that, so I wanted to give you an update on that. This proposal was sent out August 21st, and for the development of the town-owned sites near the Keckville property. Our income restriction for the workforce housing was targeted between 60% and 110% of the AMI. 4 proposals were received. There were various types of housing proposed and for purchase and rent. The subcommittee who's on that was, like I said, me, Paul, Jay Abella, John Burtis, Bill Stram, Katie Nunez, and Bob Panic as well. We've reviewed the initial proposals and have follow-up questions of some of the proposals to be issued we already did it. Responses are expected late January. We gave them a month to respond, and some of them just were incomplete. Some of them we decided that were ineligible, so we did weed out one of the proposals, but the other 3 we're still looking at. Responses, again, we're going to give them till late January, since we have holidays and some of these questions are going to take some time for them to get answers back to us. No further details can be provided since we are in need of information before we can still do our evaluation. So that's where we are in that. Paul, do you have anything else to add?
No, that's perfect.
Okay. Beachfront master plan, where are we at on that? So Ricky Wyatt did give me an update, and he said that this is the quote that I'll give you that he released to me. We are hoping to have RTA awards announced in December. However, this is subject to change due to the impact of the shutdown from the government. So we're at the end of December right now. He's saying that it's still likely that we may hear, but if not, it'll be in January that we'll be able to hear the results. In anticipation of not getting it, he's got 2 other grants that he's looking at for other municipalities, so he's going to add us to that list. It's US DOT's Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development, which spells B-U-I-L-D, build. And that's another grant program. That the maximum award amount will be $25 million for that. And there's another one.
Per locality or overall?
I think it's per locality. That's the highest that you can get, that you can request for. So it's a great grant. The other one is Virginia's Community Flood Preparedness Fund, and that's the CFPF. That one is much smaller. It's $6 million is what you can be awarded, up to $6 million per recipient. But that one requires a 10% local match. The other one did not. So he is working on, that's an application. It's going to be very lengthy. That means that him and I will have to sit down and actually go through this in detail. But we're not working on it yet until he finds the results of the RTA. Because if we are a winner of that, then we're going to go hard on developing what's going to have to come next. He would like to come and wrap it up early January, February to the council with the final plan. So he is going to be contacting me, and I'll give you some dates to work on of when we're going to do that. Any questions for that?
I'm sorry.
This is just a statement I want to give to the council, so I'm not going to take questions, but it's in regards to the external investigation. I have reached out multiple times, and I finally got some results. So there is a special prosecutor named, and the special prosecutor did reach back out to me just recently and said that it is ongoing, it's taking time, but they are most likely going to start the interviews in January of here. So with our most likely staff and those who were part of this. So that is, it's coming. I know some of you probably have seen stuff in the Mirror and some other places. I have addressed that with the person who runs that to try to correct some of the misinformation that I saw, and he is going to do better to give more time than 3 days before he releases something that I told him it takes more time. So in fact, I didn't get a statement back until after he published an article. But we're in good standing, and he's going to work better, giving more time before he releases an article. All right, that's that. This is just about the mid-year budget adjustment. So just to give you a statement, I've talked to our staff to kind of give me something so that we can give you an expectation of what's coming. Finance has contacted all department heads asking that they give input and requests. I'm going to hurry up.
You've been timed. 3 minutes.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm late for it.
It's okay. Requesting our department heads to give requests for the mid-year budget adjustment. The deadline for responses is early January. Once we receive the responses, we hope to be able to prepare a mid-year budget adjustment in time for discussion at the January Town Council meeting, which will be the regular meeting. Whether or not the budget adjustment can be adopted at the January meeting will depend on whether the aggregate amount of the adjustment exceeds 1% threshold that triggers the public notice requirement under state law. So we're going to look at that to see where that is before we put it on the calendar to make sure that we allow the required time to do this, especially for the public notice. As far as the soft closing of fiscal year 2025, we can provide council with the fiscal year 25 financial closings and information in February. That's the goal at the regular meeting, is what they're proposing to do. So I know that that's, some of you have asked me about it. We've talked to staff about it, and they've been working diligently, and they're very close to that.
It's ahead of last year, wasn't it?
Well, again, it's still a soft close.
Yeah.
Pending our audit, but at least we'll have more accurate numbers going into mid-cycle and
Because it was
the new
late.
budget.
It was late.
Yeah.
Late. It was late. It was late last year and the year before. if I remember correctly.
Just
New
a few other
sheriff in
things.
town.
So in our staff department meetings, we have discussed creating, and I think I mentioned before, but values that we're going to uphold each other with. We're pretty close. We've finalized to some things, and so I'm going to bring that to you by probably January's regular meeting to hear what we have adopted as our values for our staff and what we're going to strive for in our community here. And we're going to probably create some posters and stuff to put around so that it'll be here, it'll be in town hall, and the police station, that this is what they are. It'll be something similar to what you've heard me say mine are, PAR, P-A-R, professionalism, accountability, respect. It probably will not be that, but it'll be something that we uphold together. But it'll be something like that, that we say that this is what we strive for, and it'll be everywhere.
It's gonna be a good acronym.
It will be. We're working
Bar
on
is even a little shaky, but go ahead. The build was okay.
Bill's already taken.
Bill's
Yeah.
taken,
Bill,
that's right.
It'll be something,
Looking on
you'll be
what
blown
mine
away
is.
by it. I did submit my manager's report to you all today. This is late, and this was, from the 5th. The deadline is today for, department heads to give me theirs, and then you'll see it next week for the deadline from this last couple weeks. So you'll be seeing that.
The deadline is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, sorry. It is, it's Friday. We do, every 2 weeks is when they give it to me. So, I think I left a piece of paper, which is okay. I'm sure you're like, okay, stop. But I love to give Paul one specifically about training, because I know he loves to hear about our training stuff. So I had it, but I don't have it with me, so I have to bring that next time. But they have all been working on trainings. Jody gives us trainings that we're supposed to be doing. Our staff are doing really great job on keeping track of the things that we're doing, because this is part of our leadership academy that we're creating, that every staff has to do certain things. Our department heads are also going to be doing training in depth. Katie has helped us with specific training through ICMA, and we're doing those kind of things in order to better equip our department heads, who then can equip their own staff. So we take it seriously, and it's been good. Open up for any questions that you may have for me.
Not hearing any other comments from council?
I have just one.
Oh, go
I'm
right
sorry.
ahead.
It's combined. I hope everybody's been able to enjoy Festive Fridays. It's been incredible this year. It's just amazing, the momentum that's built every year kind of for doing that. And I hope we'll take some moments to thank the many volunteers. There's so many people in our community that make that happen. I mean, if you look at the parking and all of that alone and directing, people standing out in the cold and the rain and all of that, it's amazing. So please take a moment to say thanks to them, in particular our town staff. Public Works has been wonderful every week in they're there enthusiastically to help and get things going. And it's just the partnership between Main Street and the town, just from an outsider's really point of view, is incredible. So I just wanted to say that. And then the other thing is, if you haven't heard, 700 people participated in the cookie trail on Saturday. So that was tremendous. I mean, that's a lot of people. And I just want to say a special thanks to Amy Buda and the Vacation Homeowners Group that took that on from the B&Bs years ago now and have made it their own and have just done a phenomenal job with that.
Awesome.
I have one other announcement.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I totally forgot about it. And I just had, with sad news to give you, one of our previous staff, who was a dear, great worker, Jerry Murphy.
Yes.
So he passed a couple days ago.
Oh, wow.
And he was our town accountant and worked with Marion and others for years. And
He came back from retirement and helped us out twice.
He came in, he was really hoping to come back.
Yeah.
And then ended up retiring, but he passed, and it's with great sadness, because he was a great employee and well-loved and did a great job for our town. So I just wanted to honor him.
Yes. A sweet person.
All right, so a few announcements here. Tomorrow, town offices will close at noon for the Christmas party. December 24th through the 26th, town offices will be closed for the Christmas holiday. January 1st and 2nd, offices closed for the New Year's holiday. January 8th will be a town council work session, which is now going to be a special work session where we will be voting. And January 15th will be our regular town council meeting. And I would just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if I could get a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor?
Hi.
We are adjourned.
Man, you're off.